association. It's called the what is it, T.O.M.A,
Right.
T.O.M.A.
T.O.M.A, yes.
T.O.M.A Association is a young man who is the Minister of Information, Minister Ezekiel Wells. Thanks for joining us, Brother Wells. And sitting next to Brother Wells is the chief of staff, new chief of staff, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And he's the youth minister for the Temple of Mercy, Armand McWilliams. Thanks for joining us, Armand. And the president of the Save the Children program, who was formerly the operations manager, Tyrone Williams. Thanks for joining us, gentlemen. And first, I would like for the one with the most knowledge, which would probably be the operations manager, the ex-operations manager, who's now president of Save the Children, to give us an overview of T.O.M.A.
Well, the Temple of Mercy Association was founded on December the 12th, 1991. And one of the reasons for the founding of this organization is Minister Darrell Wilson, the co-founder, because we believe the foundation or the founder of the Temple of Mercy Association is God.
Okay.
Himself. So,
before you go any further, let's just say that Brother Darrell Wilson is in the audience. He chose to sit out with a group of children. Like I said, this show is in lieu of our Busy Bee show. So we have a group of young individuals and some people who are Muslims, but Masons, who are part of Lodge 25, Franklin Lodge 25, Lodge number 25. And I'd like to just introduce Darrell Wilson, who is known as the sax preacher. And he said, I want to sit with my subjects. I don't want to sit up on no stage. But we're going to get some words from you too, Darrell, okay, when we come out and talk with the children. And a group of beautiful young children. Can I hear you say yes?
Yes,
sir. All right. They put the sir in there, okay. Very good. I'd like to hear that from youngsters, being respectful to, I refuse to say elder, but being respectful to an adult.
Yes.
Okay. And, okay, continue your summation.
Yeah, you know, so Brother Minister Darrell Wilson, in his travels as a musician, he's toured Europe and Canada with a blues band, Roy Hightower and Motif, and in their travels, in the various airports that they went through, they noticed in some of the bars they were showing movies, such as New Jack City, right at the time, and a lot of these new black drug movies that they have out, depicting young black men as gangbangers, rapists, murderers. And when he saw this, he began to realize that this is some type of almost like a propaganda campaign against young black males, stating that, showing Caucasian people or people all over the world that black males are rapists and murderers, which that's not the truth. And that's not the case, so...
You get the same out of the Al Capone movies, that they're showing that the Italians are gangsters and murderers and hitmen. Do you get the same thing out of that? Do you get that out of that when you see that movie?
When I see that movie, I see fiction. You know, and most of us do. We see a movie.
Right. Well, you know, why is it differently when the black is...
Because not only do you see that in the movies, but when you turn on Channel 7 News, Channel 5 News...
No, that's the problem, when the news is off balance and off centers.
In connection with that, it paints that picture.
But you know, that's what the news is painting. But let's don't say that people are so unsophisticated that they can't look at a movie and get enjoyment out of it without seeing a black man and depicting him as some kind of villain because he's a villain in a movie.
You know, I would agree with you if those movies didn't stereotype and program people in order how to dress, how to act, what type of cars to drive.
You're right, you're right.
So these movies do these things. So
the movie does
count the movies out.
The movie does that to the individual. So yeah, it does it to it does it to us. Okay, we want to dress like those movies. We want to wear our hair like those movies. But what is that saying about the other people who are not doing anything like that? They're not wearing their hair like that. They're not dressing like that. They're not emulating the movie in any kind of way.
Okay, but well, I really want to stick to the point as far as why the brother started the Temple of Mercy.
Okay, go ahead.
And that reason was because in those theaters or in those in the airport, those movies were being shown. Driving Miss Daisy wasn't being shown, or any what's that? Dancing with Wolves wasn't being shown. It was New Jack City, Boys in the Hood. So, and the reason for this, we feel that they were painting all over America young black men as being gangbangers, murderers, thieves, and robbers. And in the minds, just like if you remember, that even in the newspapers, when they want to come after an individual, then what they do is they paint you in the media and on television as a madman. Idi Amin, they painted him as a madman. Saddam Hussein, he was a madman right before they moved on him. And so exactly, character assassination. So, Brother Minister,
speak up, Mr. Chief of Staff.
So, Brother Minister Darrell Wilson founded the Temple of Mercy Association in 1991, with the auspices of that we need to get into the streets and warn our people of the danger that is coming towards the black community, because just as the American government moved on Saddam Hussein after first painting him as an evil man in the media, they will also do the same with us, and you can see it now building up to that. And so that's the reason why he founded the Temple of Mercy Association, and our main goal is to but to identify and also inform our people that we are in a war and in a race for our life, and that we need to be aware of the genocidal plot that's being planned against us, and not only by others, and how the role that we're playing in it ourselves by killing one another.
You want to make a statement before?
Yes, I agree to what the brother said. Me myself, as a former youth in a youth organization, what they call as gangs, it's not just a movie, but I've been to the stores and seen how people would look at me just because I'm a young black male after seeing Menace to Society. I was at a theater watching Menace to Society, and in the theater, it was at Ford City, it was majority blacks, and in the front, there were some Koreans. Now, they showed a scene in the movie where the young brother, you know, he walked in, his pants sagged, and he shot the lady and the man, you know, and robbed the store. It was Koreans sitting up front, and everybody else was laughing, and, ooh, you see how he did that, but they was, you know, they didn't find that funny at all. So when we go back to the stores on 63rd Street, when they treat us and look at us a certain way, it's because of what has come off of these movies. A lot of people can sit back and say, well, we don't think that, we can't say that that's happening, but I was there, and I seen it, I lived it, I walked the path, I walked through the shoes of the person in the movie, and I seen how he was being portrayed, and I seen how people looked on him. I mean, I walk in Walgreens right now, I'm getting followed all around the store. Why? They don't know me personally. Where did this come from? It's like what he said, that the whole thing dealing with propaganda.
Yeah, I wanted to comment. First of all, I wanted to say that in any civilization period, you have a king or you have a ruler. Even in the Bible, the government was, the responsibility of that government was always based upon the person who was in control and ruled during that period of time. Dealing with the movies, the brother was saying, black people have been portrayed in movies before Menace to Society, Demolition Man, as buffoons, clowns, ignoramuses. That's throughout history.
Driving Miss Daisy.
Driving Miss Daisy. So that's the thing they've done throughout history with black people. Particularly when you go to the movies and you see white people in movies, whites just don't have comedy. You can go watch a movie and see a white person as a doctor or a lawyer, a white person as a scientist, a white person as a hero, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Dolph Lundgren. When you go to the theater with black people, all you see are comedies. In fact, we cannot name one program that comes on TV that's black that's not a comedy. Even if we look at South Central, still there's laughter and a comedy. Now, the people that control this set this up. And we have to understand that 50% of the brain is visualization, according to psychologists and scientists, which means that if the brain is stimulated by visualization, that means what our people see is what they're going to act out. And that's why if you look at the death rate among young black males, it's extremely high. These type of movies only add to the death rate and to the destruction of the black community, because you're talking about them saying 87% of all black males by the year 2000 either be in jail, 70% either be in jail or they'll be dead by the year 2000, ranging from like 13 to the age of 28. That's telling us that we have a serious problem with our youth. And when you see these things happening, and only movies they're promoting, the movies that show us as criminals, Demolition Man saying that the year 2000 most ruthless criminal is going to be a black man. And Sylvester Stallone is a demolition man that comes in and tears down the buildings, which means black people have become a dilapidated building in the way of society, an obstruction to society's growth and development. They portray him like that, and so all black males are rushed in. And as they say all over America, according to statistics, black people are 10 times and 18 times more likely to be picked up for crime than our white people.
And you saying they shouldn't be picked up?
I'm saying that this thing
if
has
they
to be
committed a
equal.
crime, I'm saying
all should be picked up if they commit crimes. If we want to deal with the root cause of the problem happening in the black community.
Let me explain something to you. In the black community, okay, black people are committing crimes. This is where we live.
Right.
It's very seldom that you're going to find a white person come over into our community and commit a crime.
But white people
the white white crimes is not going to
drugs come through the black community. Black people don't control the drugs.
That's true.
That's a $1 trillion
But we bring them here.
But we cannot separate them bringing drugs into the community from black people selling drugs. We have to deal with both.
Let's look at this, okay? Yes. Drugs are being distributed from the highest source of our society, okay? And there's nothing we can do about that.
Well, yes, there is something we can do about it.
Okay, well then let's do something about it.
False black leadership, particularly, I want to say this. False black leadership tell us nothing we can do about it because leadership, and those people that are our congressmen, our senators, our aldermen in these positions of authority and power, in order to hold on to their positions, they said nothing can be done about it.
Okay.
So they have allowed black people, particularly young black males, their future that they claim they're in office for, to be scapegoated as the #1 drug dealers when Mr. Clinton himself, when he was in Arkansas...
Okay, what can be done? Let's stop posturing. What can be done?
Well, what can be done about it is for us to come together, just like we're doing now with a program designed to teach our people the knowledge of self. Also, when you teach the knowledge of self, you're going to have to expose those who have been the architects of your destruction. Therefore, we must expose the government at the top. There's no way you can deal with the drug problem and just ignore the government's responsibility and its obligation also to solve the drug trade. Anytime drugs come across the borders and those people are not prosecuted, the banks and corporations launder drug money, they're not prosecuted. Mr. Clinton himself, when he was governor of Arkansas, is now being blamed by a high-ranking official for allowing drugs and guns to come through Mena, Arkansas, into the United States government. Yet that has not come out, but the book is out called Compromise now by one of their high-ranking officials.
Okay.
My question is,
Minister, hold your preaching for 1 second. Let's take a break. We're going to take a break and come back, and we got some questions for the gentleman. We want to know what the solutions are. We've heard all the posturing about what the problems are. I think you can ask any children anywhere in this world what the problems are, and they can explain them to you. But what is the solution? We'll be right back.